You're here.
Everyone, there's a bomb on the bus that will explode if we go under 50 miles per hour.
They're freaking out!
Alright, everyone's freaking out. What do we do?
You're gonna try to disarm it while moving, but we're sending someone to clear the road for you.
Okay.
Who are we gonna send? Big Corpa doesn't want us near the bus.
Do we still have that one guy's number?
So, who did you get?
Main system, engaging combat mode.
Welcome to Armored Core. That's a... Oh, I'm so sorry. That's Demon Ex Machina. That's an Armored Core. I'm Butcherson, aka haven't slept in 24 hours, and this is Mech Talk, the show where, dear God, please help, I haven't slept in 24 hours. So this is a series that's been going since the 90s, but you don't need any prior knowledge to jump into any single one. Okay, you're all set for Armored Core 6. Have fun. For the rest of you, I'd recommend Armored Core 3 as a sampler for how the traditional formula is. It's the most user-friendly of the entire series and one of my all-time favorites. You can either play the PS2 or the PSP version, depending on what's more accessible to you. Okay, you know where to start. Have fun. Oh, you're still here. Okay, well then I'm just going to do a quick summary of what it's about, a rundown of the gameplay, and, as usual, ask myself if they're cool. Let's get into it. So Armored Core's setting ranges from a post-apocalyptic Earth to a battle for territory on Mars. But just so you know, a lot of them have standalone sequels to their games, which lets you carry over save data from the previous title. So if you're wanting to dip your toes into the series, start with a numbered one. They're generally a soft reboot of the story and are the most approachable. For this video, we'll use Armored Core 3 as an example, since this nice lady is willing to explain what's going on.
One entity ruled the world. It was simply called the Controller. The Controller handled the major decisions of everyone's life. People lived safe, yet uninspired lives. As time went on, several powerful factors known as corporations came on the scene. In their separate struggles to gain absolute power, the corporations waged war upon each other. The Controller even manipulated the corporations' war.
Be advised, some fat, horrible fucking virgin is using mods in this lobby trying to...
All was going according to the plans of the Controller, but somehow the forces of chaos began to rise.
So, where do you fit in all this? Well, you're tired of working 9 to 5 at an abandoned gas station, so you decide to take the Raven selection exam so you can take on mercenary work. It is entirely possible to fail this. Remember, this is back in the day where user manuals were still commonplace. There was no tutorial stage. So if you found this as a disc only at a Skinwalker supermarket, you either looked up the controls online, or you muscled through the tank controls and eventually became adept at it. Or you gave it to your cousin. I don't know, I'm not you. So once you pass the exam and get your shiny Raven badge, you're enlisted into the military group Global Cortex, who act as intermediaries between Ravens and prospective employers. However, they won't be micromanaging who gets what. So, if you happen to take a job for one of the companies that's attacking another company's tire store, and that tire store also hired a Raven, then you're gonna butt heads. So it's like a workers' union if they had a betting ring on which employees survive working a double shift at the oil rig next to a fireworks factory. Now you're on your way. You've got some pocket change, companies willing to hire you for some honest work, and a giant robot with the bare minimum to get the work done. This starting mech is the gaming equivalent to your first car. The AC works, but it'll go out if you turn it up full blast. It really needs a new paint job, and quite honestly, it's missing a lot of features. But it will get you from point A to point B, and if you treat it right, it will treat you right. Plus, it's cheap on insurance. Once you take on a few jobs and start raking in some dough, you can make small upgrades here and there, like new arms or a different set of legs. The customization doesn't stop there. You can overhaul the entire interior as well, swap in a new generator, upgrade your targeting system, even add on some optional parts to make your ride smoother, like increased energy capacity or Bluetooth. So, what do these jobs entail? Settling a peaceful worker strike, maintenance on erratic security equipment, reenacting the scene from the Keanu Reeves movie Speed but with mechs, and break it up with recreational mech jousting in the arena, where you'll meet static characters like you but recolored. Genshin Impact, Mr. Killsteel.
Looks like you could use a hand.
I had it.
Vroom Vroom, Traumatized. Looking for the man who shot my paw. The student council president. The student council president. Shotgun! The tryhard. Toots Magoot. And Fixer, the casual filter. So in summary,
ทำงานเก็บเงินทำงานเก็บเงินใช้หนี้ทำงานเก็บเงินมีกินฉลาดชาติเจริญไปถึงไหนแล้วก็ไม่รู้แค่เลิก
here's a few key tips if you're starting a game for the first time. There is no shame in save scumming because some missions will blindside you on difficulty. Don't lock yourself into a specific build your first time. Experiment and try new stuff. And mind your expenses as you progress through missions. That one is especially important. To prove my point, let's rewind to that speed mission I told you about. The objective is to remove rubble and other robots on the road to let the bus go through. I went in with machine guns because, haha, gun go brr. I finished the mission with flying colors. However, because each bullet cost the equivalent of an Xbox Series X, and I fired off my entire load, my profit margin was in the red. However, doing the same mission with energy weapons turned a huge profit. That's right, energy weapons cost you nothing financially. Because even in the Armored Core universe, going green means making green. Just make sure your internal components can handle all your newfound firepower.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
So, after a brief overview, do I think the ACs in Armored Core are cool? Well, I don't know. It really dated but classics. Each piece has its own distinctive characteristic, and the weapons are a treat to look at and wonder how the hell it works. A more polished and refined aesthetic that defined a generation of mechs for people that were in the know. The addition of overboosting was a big plus. What I loved the most about these two generations was they were a happy middle ground between the standard anime real robot and the more Western approach to mechs that battle. There's such a distinctive difference between Armored Core 4 and 5 that I have to classify them individually. Remember when I said the previous gens were a happy medium? Well, these games lean a little more toward the anime side, almost leaning to super robot territory. Their designs are a little more busy, but there are a few standout blueprints that I was okay with, and even if it fell short a few places, they were definitely shooting for a next generation feel for their looks and performance. And they nailed it. What a shift! They dialed it way back to a more Western appeal to the point you have to really squint to see the huge differences between parts. The designs aren't bad, but I know a lot of the community griped saying this was a complete 180 of what Armored Core is and immediately despised it. At first I was one of those people, but after a second look, it's definitely more pleasing to me now, especially the look of the HUD. It's just really immersive. Really cool. How the hell did this get here? That's not Armored Core, that's Armored Copium. Get that shit out of. So we're already at the halfway point of this video, and I've already covered all the basics. I could go on about the versatility of your AC's parts, how deep the lore goes, why the Human Plus system is actually a dark and twisted concept, the number of people that dedicate their lives just to the emblem maker, and so on.
Shits never end. You can't touch my britches.
But apart from making other fans of the series upset with my blasphemous words, I really just wanted to highlight the customization this series has to offer. So, I paid off my friends to build off their own mechs in the PSP title Armored Core Formula Front. Some made one or two, others went above and beyond and made a whole team, even making custom emblems. And I appreciate every single one of them. So without further ado, let's see these ACs strut their stuff with music accompaniment from various Armored Core titles.